All right, everyone, welcome back. One last thing on this. As you can see, our inline style in our HTML started to get a little unruly. This is 70 plus lines of code here. So we want to get this out of our HTML and into an appropriate style sheet. So I'm going to use this opportunity to create a couple new style sheets for our project, link them in our HTML. We're also going to get our reset style sheet in here, which will help eliminate some of the extra CSS we have to write, and it'll generally help our website look more consistent across browsers. So the first thing I want to do is I want to come over to our terminal window, and I want to go into week 1, the morning news, and you can see that there's our index.html file. So what I want to add to this is a style sheets directory. And then in that style sheets directory, I want to create a screen.css and I want to create a reset.css, just like that. So now if I go back to TextMate, hopefully I'll have those style sheets, and I do. So let's go ahead and pop open reset. And then if we head on over to the Googles and we Google Eric Meyer CSS reset, we will find the reset style sheet that Dan Cederholm uses in his book. So he's going to reference this in the chapters you're reading this week, so we might as well use it for our projects. So go ahead and grab that code along with all of his license at the top, which is actually no license, and go ahead and drop that into your reset.css file. And everything should be there. And what this is going to do is this is going to zero out a lot of things that can cause problems, like for instance the UL padding and margin. It will get rid of that automatically. It will also make sure that browsers that don't handle HTML5 properly at least create those new elements as block level and not inline, so it won't mess up our hard work on all of our layouts. So that's all we have to do. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and open our screen.css, which should be blank. So what we want to do is we want to take all of this CSS that we've already put into our HTML, and we want to put it into that screen.css. So let's copy and paste this and drop it in here. Good. And save that. So now we can get rid of all this stuff in our HTML file, everything within the style tags. Now we just have nice looking HTML. But we still need to tell our HTML file about these style sheets, because if we go to our browser right now and try to look at our site, all of our hard work just disappeared. So we need to relink that up. So we use the link tags in the head to point our HTML file at a style sheet. So we use the link rel style sheet, and then we have an href here, just like our link, so we can tell the file where our CSS style sheet is. So in our case, it's going to be in the style sheets / reset type text CSS, media screen, title and character set. We can actually just get rid of that. So just like that. And then let's cut and paste that and link up our screen.css. So this should just be basically everything we need. One thing I want to point out is you want to make sure the reset is on top. Cascading style sheets is called cascading style sheets for a reason. The properties and the styles cascade down from top to bottom. So the files at the top get run first, the files at the bottom get run last. The properties at the top get run first, and the bottom ones get run last. And everything inherits from its parent. So the load order of CSS is important. You want to make sure you're loading the reset style sheet first before you load your application style sheet or your plain screen style sheet. So if we save this, our index.html file, and flip back over to our browser, we should get our morning news back. Now, as you can see, things have changed dramatically. It looks a lot different. That's because our reset style sheet has taken away some of the styles that the browser applies by default. So the most noticeable, I think, are the UL bullets, the list bullets, and also you can see we lost a lot of padding in our section. So before we close up, let's quickly go update our banner and add a little bit more padding. I think we might have to go back up to 10 pixels there. Let's go a little bit more, 15. All right, that's pretty close. Okay, so things have gotten a little misadjusted, or not really misadjusted, but they've changed a little bit, and that's okay. All of the content and structure we did in the previous screencast is still good to go, and now we're even in better shape because we've got a reset style sheet. So at this point, we're ready to move on to a little bit more detail, and in the next screencast, we're going to work on some of that detail.